welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paperboy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And I had something or other in my day job today where I talked with a gentleman who was about 10 years older than me. And his father had been in the construction business. And he was telling me about some of the things that his father used to do. We would nowadays say cutting corners and maybe not doing the right thing all the time.
Wait, is this the rambling story of the week?
Which can be seen every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on our live show. But he was bringing up all these things, and it got me thinking how so many times you used to do the wrong thing at one point in regard to the
Picking partners, I know.
Media mail shipping.
Yes.
That
too.
And why don't you quickly explain what happened and what happened, basically?
Well, we started growing, and, shipping was a lot of money. We were going from shipping 20 items to 50, 100 items a day. And, every little bit helps, so you want to, save some money. So we were shipping some things out media mail that were heavy, and part of the reason was Amazon doesn't give you enough money to begin with. So you wanted, why do I want to lose $10 shipping this item when I can try media mail for $4 or $5? So, say back then we had 100 items.
And this was, let's preface this. This was how long ago? Probably
5, 6, 7 years ago.
That was longer than that, I think.
7, 8, 9 years ago. So, if we had 100 orders going out, maybe 10 of them would be
questionable.
Questionable, right? Which they'd be heavier and didn't look like a book or wanting a DVD. And then a couple times I had meetings with the postmaster and.
The bowling ball says Brunswick on it. That doesn't count as media.
It's crazy. Well, you can read Brunswick.
All right,
it's a round book.
So it's educational.
Yeah, but we had some things that they opened up. Obviously, they can open up media mail,
right?
And after a while, I think it was very repetitive. Weekly, they were doing this, and they had to have a talk with me and the postmaster. And the first time I listened, did it for a while, and I kind of got back into my old routine again. And then he talked to me again and said, "Hey, enough is enough. You got to stop this." And then we just stopped it from there. Just did everything the right way after that. It's not worth getting in trouble, and who knows what the repercussions would be if they're not going to pick up my mail or I can't use a post. Who knows? But it wasn't worth it to have a strike 3. Let's just put it that way. And from there on out, we just always did it the right way.
Right, and that was kind of what I've seen in my day job throughout the years as well, is you can cut corners and do things the wrong way, but if you do so, it definitely limits your growth potential. And I've seen that time and time again in my day job. People take jobs for cash and all this kind of stuff, and then suddenly they realize when they go to talk to their accountant that, well, you only showed $80,000 worth of income, yet you got $110,000 worth of Home Depot receipts.
Yeah,
that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And they're paying all their guys under the table, and all of a sudden they're finding out that, hey, wait a minute, I'm working for companies that give me 1099s.
Mm-hmm.
So the government knows exactly how much money I make, yet I can't expense these other things, and so on. And you just see it across the board. And a lot of people, I don't want to use the word shady because it isn't really, what you were doing with the media mail was wrong. And I did it way back when. I remember I did something or other with a jacket way back when, and then ended up getting caught. And I think it was probably one of the only things I ever sent out wrong like that. It got caught, of course, because I'm saying it's media mail. It's a box like this big.
Very light.
That weighs nothing.
Light as a feather.
Yeah, exactly. And my buyer had to pay the shipping, and then I had to refund the shipping.
That's not good business either.
No, exactly. And after that happened, I said, what am I doing? And again, that was probably 2005, something or other like that. I don't even deal in jackets anymore. But had I continued along that path, how many negatives would I get from buyers?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, exactly.
Along
you
the
and
way.
Me both. Yeah, you and me both.
And it would limit my growth had I continued on that path. I did it the one time, I got caught, I said, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, or they start reporting you to eBay, hey, I paid for priority, I got a media mail, I had to pay a fee, and I'm sure if you get a bunch of those, eBay's not going to like that either, so... Yep. A lot of bad ways it could go.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And there's really no upside for it other than to the customer because you're not charging him as much. But then when he has to sit there and pay on the back end, he's not happy about it either. And it's the same way. Quite a bit of. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
If I said to you, Mr. Magazine, I've got a deal that I'm doing. I'm flipping it to you. I need $5,000 right now. Mm-hmm. Would you write me a check for $5,000 right now off that? Yes.
Sure.
Yep. Because you know that if I'm going to flip it to you, it's going to be a good deal.
Yeah.
If I had ripped you off in the past, would you be writing that check for me?
No.
Exactly. And you build yourself up, based off of trust. You build yourself up, and if you cut corners, if I'm selling on eBay and I've got 92.4% positive.
That's going to hurt. It's not going to look good.
And that's what happens when you cut corners. Yeah. And you really do limit yourself by doing it. Short term, it's the easier way to go. Right. Because I'm sure that you, especially on Amazon, I'm sure that you make sales that you sit there and you look at and you're going, they gave me $3.99 to ship card sets. This guy in California bought 3 card sets.
Yeah, right.
I got $12 shipping, and it's going to cost me $28.
Yeah.
So be it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's just the way
cost
things
of doing
are.
Business, I guess. It averages out.
And you might lose on that one deal one time, but
you sell enough Hot Wheels, you make $1. You sell 20 Hot Wheels a day, it might balance it out.
And it's not like every day somebody from California is buying 3 sets.
Right.
One thing that I definitely notice, and I've got some Life magazines listed on Amazon that I probably will never sell because my price is out of the range of other people. But it's a 2-pound magazine. It's over 1 pound, so it's a 2-pound magazine. If somebody from California buys it, it's going to cost me $12 to ship.
Yeah.
I'm going to get $4 to ship it. So I've got to include $8 extra in case it sells to California.
Yep.
I also have to include my fees. So I'm charging, $18 on it, and other people are charging $6. But I'm certain that they're not going to ship it the right. They're going to media mail it, and I'm not going to media mail it, so I probably have cost myself a sale.
Right.
But what are you going to do? At this point, I've learned, and again, I do it the right way. But because of that, and here's the other thing, though, too. Say a customer ends up buying that from me and buys a whole bunch of them from a bunch of different people.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy sent it out priority.
Right.
Wow, it got to me faster than any of these other ones. It was packed nicely. It was really well done. He may leave me a glowing negative, and I do ship. In fact, I get the nasty notes from Amazon that I ship too fast compared to what I have noted, because I have 2 days shipping down and something like 78% of my items are shipped within 1 day or something other like that. I believe they called that a shipping gap or something like that I was shipping faster than I promised, which, good.
Apparently that's a bad thing.
Good. Whereas the other people might be taking 5 days to ship it out, and it gets their media, so it ends up getting there in 2 weeks. Geez, this one guy shipped it right away, priority, and this other guy took 2 weeks to ship it. That can only help me in the long run.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when your company's just starting or you're just learning your way, you cut corners. It's natural. I shudder to think, and I really don't know because I can't remember back to 2002, but I shudder to think how poorly some of my items probably were packed back then. Because I didn't buy the right packing supplies necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, they look like a 2-year-old did it.
Probably.
Now they look like a 6-year-old.
I'm improving.
Definitely.
I'm sure that at times, I use the 1.8 mil tape instead of the 2 mil tape, which does not stick very well and flaps all over the place.
Yeah.
And guess how much extra tape you end up using when you use the cheap stuff?
Too much.
So you end up not saving. You don't save any money anyway on it. Plus, it looks like absolute trash, and it could, you buy the really, really cheap envelopes. Guess what happens to it potentially in the mail?
Yeah. Tear fest.
Yeah, and then the person doesn't end up getting it, and so on.
Oh, they get it. They just get an open envelope.
Yeah, they do get the
like
envelope.
Johnny Carson's the envelopes after he.
Karnak, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. 1776. You're supposed to say
What did I just start?
Now you're supposed to say 1776.
1776.
The amount of money in my checkbook. Oh, good one, sir. Oh, good one. Oh, boy. Jeez. Got to get you into the Karnak thing.
Yeah.
But hopefully that does help you some. When you're starting out, you're going to be inclined to cut corners. You're going to be inclined. You also don't have the positives, too. That's another big thing about it. I've got the track record at this point that if I am doing something or other on eBay, people might or will pay a little more for me than somebody else.
Right.
I also have some level of confidence, having done it for 20 years.
Sure.
I have confidence in my price. I have confidence in my condition. And I think we've all been bullied by the buyers saying, well, what are you doing? This is only an $8 magazine. What are you doing trying to ask $20 for it? I'll give you $8 for it because that's what they sell for. If you're a new seller, you might believe it. So if you take $8 for a magazine because you've been told by a seller that's all it's worth, and you're offering free shipping, you're not going to priority it to California and pay $12.
No.
You're going to media mail it because you got bullied into taking too low of a price on it. And now you're like, oh boy, I'm never going to have sold it otherwise. I got to do this. I got to cut the corner.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's not worth it in the long run.
Take the loss and move on. Learn and move on.
Yep. And you've limited yourself by taking the shortcuts. And we took the shortcuts back in the day. I will admit that we did, or I did on that jacket. Yeah. And I'm sure there were other shortcuts of packing and all that I took back in the day. I don't do that anymore. It's just not worth it.
I never take a shortcut to Papergood's house either.
No, you don't. You're definitely not through a Wendy's drive-in. No. So do hit the like button if you could. Would appreciate it. And let us know your opinion of that. And let us know how you've changed throughout the years. Because I think all of us have changed throughout the years. And as we get bigger and more established, you find out that you're just not going to take the shortcuts. It's just not worth it. We'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.